Thank you. Now to talk about the bill, and to be on topic here, one of the things that this does is remove the requirement that a local jurisdiction that accepts an electrical engineer inspection by a registered inspector must maintain a record of an inspection performed by an engineer for no less than 3 audit years. Is that reducing the amount of time that these audits are going to be available, or is that ensuring that they're going to be for 3 years? Reading this bill, I learned a lot, and so I got just a few questions. But is this reducing the amount of time that we have to have that information, or the entity would have access to that information, or keeping it or extending it beyond 3 years?
Chairman Vaughn.
Thank you. I'm disappointed. I thought you were going to ask if there was a sign-on sheet available. I had one over here in case you wanted to sign on. Right now, it's up to individual jurisdictions on how long they keep the records. What we're doing is we're establishing a standard for in case a third party someone decides to participate using a third party review, then this does dictate that the mandatory requirement is a minimum of 3 years.
Representative Pearson.
Thank you. Two sort of big phrases I think that are in this legislation that I just want to get a little more clarification on is the third party water resources engineer and the third party plans examiner. These are, what are their qualifications directly aligned with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation or a state department that is giving them, in essence, the clearance to operate in lieu of the State Department that would be doing this work today?
Chairman Vaughn.
Right now, with regards to plans examiners, that would be typically your registered, and it's called out in the legislation, licensed engineer, licensed architect. And then the other part of it is they have to be approved by the state fire marshal to be able to perform these services. There's a definition in the bill with regards to water resource engineer, and in this case, those people will be performing 2 separate tasks per the legislation. One is being able to approve what we call package systems or small-scale sewer treatment systems. And then the other function that's contemplated within this legislation is that they'll be producing and reviewing general permits for wetlands alterations. And in both of those cases, the department still has the final say of approval. Even though these people do the administrative work with reviewing the applications, the department is still the ones who issue those permits.
Representative Pearson.
So the expectation with this legislation, even though these entities would be operating, as is said a lot of times in here, in lieu of a particular department, those who are doing the research, doing the studies, doing this administrative work, all of them have qualifications equal or similar to the departments that we currently expect, the fire marshal or these other folks.
Chairman Vaughn.
That's correct. And the beauty of this legislation, it does 2 things. It benefits both parties, both the regulating body as well as the applicant. The applicant has the option now of deciding whether or not they want to wait on a backlog of applications to where it goes through the normal process. But if they find that they can move faster through using these third parties, then they incur the expense of hiring the third party, but they get through the system faster. And for the regulators, it benefits them in the fact that if they see a peak in their workload, this allows the applicants to share the cost. It allows that community to tell a developer or a builder saying, hey, we're so backed up right now, it's going to be 2 months before we can review your plans. What it does is it keeps that community from being able to say, well, we've got to go hire a third reviewer. And so it allows them to shave their peak demand times.
Representative Pearson.
This last thing, in your conversations with the fire marshals, are they supportive and TDEC supportive of this?
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes, sir, they are.
Representative Pearson.
Thank you so much.